Hello and welcome to Computology Academy, and today we are going to start our course for the JPSC prelims, and this course will include only the paper 2 syllabus, because if we go through the syllabus of JPSC GS paper 1, then you will find that syllabus is just the concise syllabus of what is going to be asked in the JPSC mains examination in the GS papers. There are 4 GS papers in JPSC mains examination, and the same syllabus is there for the prelims also. So it is better to go for the course which is providing the prelims comes mains foundation course for the JPSC GS, so that you will be in a better position to comprehend the concepts, because only through the mug up of the material, the facts and the figures related to the GS paper 1 will not be sufficient to score good marks in the GS paper 1. And as we know, time and again the JPSC is giving too much high of the cutoff marks, so it is very difficult to clear the JPSC prelims examination than the mains examination. But if you go for the courses which are providing you the holistic coverage of prelims as well as the mains syllabus of GS paper, then you will be in better position to score good marks in JPSC paper 1 GS also. So here this is going to be the prelims course, that is for paper 2 only, and plus there will be tests. There will be 5 tests along with the course. The course will cover the complete syllabus. And here one more thing is that if we go through the syllabus, then we find that there are various things those are overlapping with GS paper 1 also. So you will be in position to score good marks in JPSC paper 1 also if you complete the JPSC GS paper 2 syllabus religiously. So here if we go for the current affairs related to JPSC paper 1, thereafter plans and policies and other things, then you will find that in JPSC GS paper 1 also you will find various things those are overlapping. If we go through the syllabus, then you can see here that the Jharkhand specific questions related to general awareness, those questions will be having 20 marks weightage. 10 questions will be asked for Jharkhand specific, and that will have 20 marks weightage, right? As well as if we go on to see other things, then there are human rights issues, urbanization, sports, disaster management, and these things will be also of Jharkhand centric nature. Those are related to the current issues. As well as if you go for other things like the science and technology and other things, agriculture, etc., so there also you will find various questions. As well as in geography and the history part also you will find various questions related to Jharkhand specific questions will be there. But what we will do, we will go on to focus on the GS paper 2, right? And this is a very tricky paper to go through in the JPSC prelims examination. As we go through the syllabus, then the syllabus is attached along with the course details, so you can download it from there. So here there are questions related to history of Jharkhand, and here you will find that the Munda administrative system, Nagwansi administrative system, like those tribal administrative systems. And from that you will find 8 questions, one question from each tribal administrative system. So this is going to be very tricky because the tribal administrative systems are well elaborate. There are various officials, various types of management systems, types of marriage systems, types of religious practices, etc. So here you will find it very difficult to complete the syllabus. But what we have done, we have designed the course, designed the material in such a way that you will find that all the important issues, all the important aspects, facts and figures related to tribal administrative system are covered well in the material as well as those will be discussed with the conceptual clarity and other things, how to read it, how to keep it in your mind, all those things will be provided along with the material in the class discussion. So it will become quite easy for you people to memorize it, to answer the questions. If some kind of conceptual clarity is needed, then that will be with you while attempting the paper, right? Next is the movements in Jharkhand. So these movements, there are various movements in Jharkhand, and here what you will find that there are various types of tribal movements, sadans, etc. Definition of sadan, definition of dikus, and all those things will be there. So that will also be covered in detail, and thereafter all the national movements which we will study for the paper 1, so their related impact simultaneously when the national movement was going on throughout the nation, simultaneously what was happening within Jharkhand, what was the impact of those national movements in Jharkhand, how does the tribal population and other population, other people of Jharkhand participated in those national movements, what was their contribution. So all those things will be read in connection with the national movements of the nation, and what was its impact, how does it was affecting the region of Jharkhand and its people. So all those things will be dealt in detail with connection, so that you will be in better position to connect if some kind of the conceptual type of questions, that what was the impact, why did these things happened in Jharkhand, such kind of things will be very easy for you to answer. So these things will be dealt in detail. Thereafter there are distinct identity of Jharkhand. So here we will go on to read about the social attributes, cultural attributes, traditions, political attributes, and all those things. And these become very important because if you become a SDM and if you are not well aware about the cultural and the traditional attributes and aspects of the local population, then you will not be in position to administer that region properly. So it becomes very important. जब आदमी के बारे में आप properly जानोगे नहीं, तो आप कैसे ये चीज़ें वहाँ पर इम्प्लीमेंट कर पाओगे कि क्या उनके लिए ज़रूरत की चीज़ें और क्या उनके लिए ज़रूरत की चीज़ें नहीं है। तो इन सब चीज़ों का भी वहाँ पर ध्यान रखना पड़ेगा, इन सब चीज़ों को भी देख कर चलना पड़ेगा। एंड फॉर दैट मैटर दिस काइंड ऑफ syllabus are made in any civil services examination, because the civil servants are the people who are going to serve the people. आपको किसी एमएनसी के लिए, किसी कंपनी के लिए नहीं काम करना है, बट आपको पीपल, आम जनता के लिए काम करना है. एंड दैट इज वाई इफ यू आर नॉट वेल अवेयर ऑफ द लोकल ट्रेडिशंस एंड द प्रैक्टिसेस, देन you will not be in position to handle any situation that will arise in front of you while administering the region, while maintaining the law and order of the region, while ensuring the development of the region. Developmental works are one of the most important thing nowadays, right? Most of the time we talk about sustainable development and all those kind of things, climate change, etc. The people should be brought above the poverty line, and these things can be done only when you are well aware of the regional attributes of any region. Then only you will be in position to design good plans and implement and execute those plans, so that the development of that region, the regional development will be ensured. So here nowadays what we are talking about, we are talking about the bottom up approach. The regional specific, region specific plans should be developed, and that should be adjusted, that should be accommodated in the higher level plans, so that the people of that region will get what they need and not what the people of the higher level, higher hierarchy are providing them by their own thought process, own intelligence. What they think that is necessary for that region is not always correct, and that is why the bottom up approach has been accrued, has been accepted by the planners, so that the planning for the region will be in a better way, and that is why such kind of things are accommodated in the syllabus, and those will be dealt in detail. Thereafter, art and culture and Jharkhand tribal culture, right? So art and culture of Jharkhand and Jharkhand tribal culture, so these things are very necessary, so that you should not do anything which is not in connection with, not in similar way what they accept, what the tribal peoples accept, what the local population accept, so that there will be no hatred between the administration and the local population. So these things are very important. Next is literature and writer. So these things are quite important, because time and again we find that various writers, poets, or the literary works are asked in the question. So these things are basically the knowledge base which should be with you. Thereafter, important educational institutions, so that there will be well accrued knowledge with the administrator, that where which kind of educational systems are there, educational institutions are available, and so that they will be in better position to plan for further development of the educational institutions and education system. Thereafter, sports, so it is a cultural attribute, and it is a matter of pride for any state, that what kind of performance the people of that state are doing in the sports. So these things are important. Next is the land related laws. So it is one of the most important topic, most important part of the syllabus, because most of the students go on to get stuck in these things, that is the CNT Act and the SPT Act. So these two acts are very important part of the syllabus of Jharkhand, and most of the time what happens, the students are not well aware of this part of the syllabus. Basically what happens, the political legal language are very complex language. You will find that one line completes one paragraph, in one paragraph with the commas. One line is there, comma, one line is there, comma, thereafter the other line, and the whole paragraph will be written in a single line, and that is why these things become complex. And what we will do, we will deal with these topics, we will discuss all the important sections of the CNT Act and the SPT Act in such a manner that you will understand what does that section says, what is the demand of the questions, and we will practice the questions accordingly, and we will prepare the syllabus according to the demand of the question. We will go through various questions, so that you will be in position to understand what is the demand of the question, and accordingly you will be in position to answer the question, right? So here we will discuss these paragraphs in detail one by one of the important sections, so that you will not lose any mark in that if you go through the content, go through the classes religiously, right? So this will be dealt in detail. Next is that history and of the economic development of Jharkhand. So is basically Jharkhand came into existence after on 15th November 2000. So before that, whatever the economic development, whatever the economic history of Bihar, of this region, was the history of Jharkhand. So we will have a cutoff date of 15th November 2000, and thereafter we will read the economic development of Jharkhand in two separate time periods, two separate paradigm. One will be after independence till 15th November 2000, and the next will be after 15th November 2000 till date, right? So that we will be in better position to understand what was the circumstances, what was the conditions, and how does this region Jharkhand performed before the formation of separate state, and how does it developed, how does it moved ahead after the formation of a separate state, right? So basically for the demand of Jharkhand as a separate state, the local population of Jharkhand at that very time before 15th November 2000, we are saying that the state government of Bihar is behaving with this region like a stepfather. So that was their accusation against the politicians of Bihar, because more number of seats, more number of legislative assembly seats were in the Bihar region in comparison with the Jharkhand region, which is the present day Jharkhand, because of the low density of population. So majority of the politicians were of that region. So what was happening, the government was focusing on that region only. That was what was the acquisition of the politicians of Jharkhand region, and that is why they were striving hard. They struggled for a separate state, and thereafter the separate state of Jharkhand came into existence after a long struggle, right? And for the formation of the separate state of Jharkhand also we will read in the history part of Jharkhand, right? And thereafter industrial policy, displacement and resettlement and other policy issues. So these things, industrial policy, displacement and resettlement and other policies, this part of the syllabus is very important from the administrative point of view as well as from the law and order situation issues, right? Many of the regions are experiencing the left wing extremism because of the issues related to these topics, like the displacement, mining areas and the other industrial policies which is causing the displacement of the tribal population also. And those tribal population are not getting a well planned resettlement package, and because of that they are disgruntled with the government and they are joining the left wing extremists, and this becomes a huge problem for the law and order situation in any region of Jharkhand, basically those forested regions of Jharkhand. So how does it is affecting the region, how does the industrial policy should be formulated, how does the development of any region should be ensured, how does the balanced regional planning can be done. So all these things will be read under these topics, and thereafter we will go on to the important industries, their location and the industrial development of Jharkhand. So this topic will be very important because there are various important industrial belts, industrial districts also. If we go on to consider, then Giridih, Dhanbad, Bokaro, Jamshedpur, Ranchi, etc. And many other districts are getting industrialized quite rapidly with the important government plans and policies. The government is investing good amount of money to attract the industrialists to invest in Jharkhand. Basically the government will work as a facilitator. They will provide the infrastructure facilities, they will provide the proper security and better law and order situation that will improve the ease of doing business in the region. And because of that, what will happen, the industrialist will find it a better place, an attractive destination for their investment in Jharkhand. So these things will be dealt in detail. Next is the important plans and sub-plans of Jharkhand. So these will be basically covering the welfare schemes of Jharkhand, because if we go through the data, then around more than 40% of the population of Jharkhand are living below the poverty line, and in that also the largest chunk of the population who are forced to live below the poverty line are the tribal population. Basically there is the high level of illiteracy, healthcare issues, livelihood issues, and because of that they are forced to live below the poverty line. So these things will be dealt in detail, and we will study various plans and policies of government of Jharkhand as well as the government of India which are targeting specifically the tribal population, the development and the improvement of the tribal population. So these things will be dealt in detail, and these will be very important from the administrative point of view in future also, because that will provide you an insight that what has been done till date and what was its outcome. And thereafter as an administrator you will be a better person to understand what is needed to be done in future आपको पहले की हिस्ट्री शीट पता रहेगी, पहले का आपका पूरा अप्रोच क्या था, फेलियर हुआ, सक्सेस हुआ, क्या हुआ, कितनी डेवलपमेंट आई, कितना आउटकम रहा, कितने लोग पॉवर्टी लाइन से ऊपर मूव किए. सो इफ यू नो ऑल दोज थिंग्स, then only you will be in position to formulate better plans, better suited regional specific plans for the development of the region, as well as class specific, like the tribal people, the people of the poorest strata of the society, women specific plans, child specific plans. So these things will be there, so that you will be in better position to design such plans who will target these sections of the society, these sections of the population of Jharkhand. And that is why this topic becomes very important for the syllabus point of view, as well as for being a future administrator, right? Next is the forest management and biodiversity conservation of Jharkhand. So the climate change as well as the environmental and the ecological issues have gained a huge importance with the passage of time. After the 1992 Rio Earth Summit, the issues related to climate change and the ecological balance and the sustainable development and other things have gained the pace, have received too much of importance. And nowadays all the plans and policies which are even for the development of any region, for the improvement of the infrastructure, for the development of the people, for economic development, or whatever you say, they consider the climate change while formulating any such plans and policies for the development of any region, for the development of the people or society or infrastructure development, whatever it is. And that is why it becomes very important to have a knowledge base of the forest management and biodiversity. As we know that there is only around 30% of the forest cover is in Jharkhand, and from the ecological point of view, this is also a very high level if we consider the national average as well as the amount of forest in other big states, not considering the northeastern states. So this is a good number in comparison with that. But what happens if we go on to compare it with the ecological requirement, then that is 33%. There should be 33% of the forest cover of the total geographical area of any region to be in a ecologically balanced situation, ecologically balanced equilibrium, right? So that will be a sustainable development. And what is happening here, Jharkhand is having only 30% of the forest cover, and there is still a need of increasing 3% more forest cover. So for that increase, to bring about that increase, anybody, any administrator, any forest conservator, forest officer, or whatever it is, or the administrative services persons, they need to know about the methods of forest management, what is the requirement of the forest management, and other things, right? And these topics will help you out in the mains paper also. If you go on to write the mains paper of geography, then you may find such kind of questions. If you go through the previous year papers, then there was a question related to agroforestry, there was questions related to climate change also. So such kind of things will be there, such kind of topics will be there, and that is why it is very important to go through this, and that is why you should focus on these topics, because this topic will also cover 5 questions. और अगर आप चाहते हैं कि 5 क्वेश्चन ही तो है, 95 कर लेंगे, ऐसे करके छोड़ना चालू करेंगे तो पूरा पेपर ही छूट जाएगा, ठीक है? तो कोई भी टॉपिक को छोड़ना नहीं है. द टॉपिक इन विच यू आर गुड, गो थ्रू दैट टॉपिक वंस और ट्वाइस सो दैट इट विल बी इन योर माइंड. बट focus more on those topics in which you are not so good, because what happens, you have to be a front runner to clear the prelims. प्रीलिम्स का कट ऑफ कैसे ऊपर जा रहा है, कैसे आगे को आगे ही बढ़ता जा रहा है, ये सबको पता है। प्लस जेपीएससी चेयरमैन के अपॉइंटमेंट की प्रक्रिया चालू हो चुकी है, तो पेपर के लिए नोटिफिकेशन वैकेंसीज वगैरह भी जल्दी ही आने वाली है, ये भी सबको पता है। सो दैट you should start as early as possible to prepare for the JPSC examination, so that you will be in better position to clear the examination. जैसे कुछ लोग कह रहे थे कि सर तैयारी कब से शुरू करना चाहिए, तो सीधी सी बात है कि whenever you think that you are going to appear in the civil services examination, whether for the state level or for the central level, UPSC हो, JPSC हो, BPSC हो, whichever exam is there for which you are willing to prepare. So on the very day you think that you should prepare for the civil services examination, start preparing for that then and there, right? Because early you will start, better you will be prepared, and you will be ahead of the other peoples who are going to prepare for the exam. So it becomes very important for anybody who think that he should prepare for the civil services examination should start as soon as possible, right? And next thing is that environment related facts, climate change, their mitigation and adaptation in Jharkhand. So basically here the in the syllabus, the topic M and topic N serial number are quite similar, and these are very important topics. These are going to be very very high weightage, because 5 questions will be related to forest management and biodiversity, and 7 questions from the environmental related issues and climate change. So in total it becomes 12 question, 24 marks. और ये सारे टॉपिक जो हैं ये आपको पेपर 1 में भी नजर आएंगे, पेपर 1 में भी ये सारे इन्वायरमेंटल इश्यूज और बाकी की चीजें नजर आती हैं, एंड दैट इज व्हाई इट बिकम्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. दैट इज व्हाई आई वाज सेइंग दैट around 25 questions you will find that those are related to the paper 1 as well as paper 2. So if you go through the syllabus of paper 2 religiously, you will find that various questions are overlapping from the syllabus of paper 1 as well as paper 2. So prepare it religiously, and many of the students are scoring very good marks in paper 2 actually, because one of my student in the last prelims examination answered correctly 83 questions out of 100 questions in paper 2, and because of that she was able to clear the paper, prelims paper. And next is disaster management in Jharkhand. So the disaster management is very important topic, whether it is for the UPSC or for the state PCS. And here the disaster management will be studied in specific way for Jharkhand only, and those disasters which are prevalent in Jharkhand, those will be studied here. That is why we are not going to study about cyclones and other these types of disasters, tornadoes, etc., because such type of disasters are not so prevalent in Jharkhand. The geographical area of Jharkhand does not experience that much of warmth of the tornadoes, cyclones, etc. But what we will be studying here, that will be of Jharkhand specific nature, right? So that we will be able to answer the questions, and thereafter current issues of Jharkhand. 7 questions will be again from this topic, and that will be related to politics, political personalities, sports, any plans and policies or other things, whatever it will be in the current issues, right? Currently happening things, right? So these things will be studied. So this is going to be dealt in detail in our classes, and this is going to be very important. If you go through the notes which will be provided alongside with the video classes, go through the notes religiously, specifically that of the CNT SNT part, as well as the environment and ecology and climate change etc. parts, because these 2-3 topics will only cover around 40% of the questions, which becomes very important to score good marks, and thereafter have as much knowledge as possible. because there will be 4 options under any question, any statement. And if you have studied any topic, anything, even once or twice religiously with concentration, then what happens, it will be very easy for you to answer the objective questions. It becomes very easy to answer the objective questions, because in the objective questions, when you see the option, suddenly the correct answer gets extracted from the back folder of your mind. कभी आपने पढ़ा है, धुंधला सा थोड़ा याद आ रहा है, लेकिन जैसे ही आप उसके ऑप्शंस देखोगे ऑब्जेक्टिव क्वेश्चन के, सडनली यू विल रियलाइज दैट कि आंसर तो यही है. And that is why it is very important to read as much as possible for the prelims examination, because it will increase the chances of clearing the paper. And second important thing is that कि यहाँ पर कोई नेगेटिव मार्किंग नहीं है, सो नथिंग इज डिटरिंग यू टू अटेम्प्ट ऑल द क्वेश्चंस. एज मच एज भी नहीं कहूँगा, बिकॉज अगर कोई प्रॉब्लम है, अगर कोई वैसी इशूज है जिसके कारण कि आप नहीं करना चाहते हो, तो वो एक सिंगल इशू क्या होता है, दैट इज नेगेटिव मार्किंग विच इज रिस्ट्रिक्टिंग यू टू आंसर ऑल द क्वेश्चंस. बट यहाँ पर इवन द वाइल्ड गेस इज नॉट गोइंग टू हार्म यू एट ऑल, बिकॉज यू आर नॉट गोइंग टू लूज एनीथिंग, बट यू विल गेन एनीथिंग. अगर सही तुक्का लग गया, आपने वाइल्ड गेस भी किया, तो 2 नंबर तो आपके फोकट के बेनिफिट है, फ्री का है. एंड एवरीबडी लव्स द फ्रीबीज, राइट? सो गो फॉर द questions all overall and attempt all the questions. Don't leave even a single question. बहुत सारे लोग कहते हैं कि सर आ नहीं रहा था तो क्यों आंसर करते. आ नहीं रहा था तो जा भी तो कुछ नहीं रहा है, so why not to answer all the questions? No negative marking is there, nothing is deterring you from answering all the questions. और उसमें भी आप छोड़ के आ रहे हो कि सर पता नहीं था, आ नहीं रहा था. व्हाट इज दिस? सो डोंट डू कमिट सच काइंड ऑफ मिस्टेक्स that will be detrimental for you. Even if you don't know all the answers of around 10 to 15 questions, and if you go on to do the wild guesses, चलो 16 मान लेते हैं, because it will become easy for the calculation. So 4 ऑप्शंस हैं यहाँ पे, ए बी सी डी 4 ऑप्शंस होते हैं. अगर ये 4 ऑप्शंस में से कोई भी आप एक मार्क करते हो, एंड द प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ मार्किंग एनी क्वेश्चन करेक्ट इज 1/4. 4 ऑप्शंस है, प्रोबेबिलिटी विल बी 25%, दैट इज 1/4. सो इफ यू आंसर 16 क्वेश्चंस इन दैट मैनर, वाइल्ड गेसेस, so what will happen, you will get, there is possibility of getting 4 questions correct. 4 क्वेश्चन के 8 मार्क्स, दैट कैन मेक अ बिग डिफरेंस. 8 मार्क्स में आप लिस्ट के अंदर और लिस्ट के बाहर कहीं भी लैंड कर सकते हो, प्रीलिम्स की जो क्लियर करते हैं स्टूडेंट्स उनकी लिस्ट से. सो डोंट गो ऑन टू लीव एनी क्वेश्चन इन द प्रीलिम्स unanswered, because after all you are going to gain but not lose anything. So that should be your approach in the prelims examination. And the next important thing is that कि आप लोगों को थोड़ा सा डेलिब्रेशन, थोड़ा सा स्मार्ट वर्क, थोड़ी सी गेस वर्क भी करनी पड़ेगी. सपोज दैट जैसे हम लोग क्लास करेंगे, देन आई विल गो ऑन टू डिस्कस वेरियस थिंग्स, हाउ टू डू द गेस वर्क if some kind of physical attributes of any tribal population is asked, the language related things are asked, facts are asked. So you can understand from the topics, while we will discuss the topics, that if some tribal population is living, residing, their area of residence in the region of South Jharkhand, that is of Khoti Chaibasa region, etc., then you will find that most of their languages are related to the Dravidian family of languages, because these population had migrated to Jharkhand region in the ancient time from the South Indian region or the Central Indian region, and that is why there is the impact of that local languages and that local family of languages of the Southern and the Central India region on their tribal language. So such kind of things can be guessed if you know the location of the population, their area of residence, their habitat. So such kind of things will be dealt in detail in the course. Throughout the course, we will be providing you various keys, various types of techniques, how to guess the correct answer. और गेस करने में तो कुछ जाता ही नहीं है, अभी आपने देखा कि नेगेटिव मार्किंग है नहीं, जो भी है सब पॉजिटिव ही है या जीरो है, माइनस मार्किंग जाती नहीं है यहाँ पे, तो नेगेटिव लाइन पे आपको मूव करना ही नहीं है. सो गो ऑन टू आंसर ऑल द क्वेश्चंस, दैट वुड बी द बेटर अप्रोच, राइट. और यहाँ पर एक चीज और मेंशन करूंगा कि जो भी स्टूडेंट्स अभी तक कोर्सेज को सब्सक्राइब नहीं किए, अगर वो करना चाहते हैं तो गो ऑन टू द वेबसाइट एंड सब्सक्राइब द कोर्सेज. द कोर्सेज आर नॉट सो costly, and if somebody wants to avail the scholarship, like the old students will be provided with 10% scholarship, 10% discount. Those students who had subscribed to any of the courses of our institution earlier, just call on the admin section, and from the admin section they will verify your attributes, your claims, and thereafter they will provide you the discount of 10%. And if you want to avail some kind of scholarship, then also go on to contact the admin section. That is the way from where you can get some kind of scholarship, relaxation, or whatever you want. And one more thing, here there will be 5 tests, and these tests will be 3 sectional tests and 2 full length tests, right. So that holistically we will cover the syllabus once in the silos section wise, and thereafter we will cover the whole syllabus twice. So overall it will ensure the 3 readings through the test method, as well as 1 reading in detail will be through the course. And here also in 3 tests the sectional questions will be in depth, so that you will have to study the whole material, study material in depth, and go through the classes religiously to ensure the conceptual depth and the knowledge of the facts and figures of the students, so that their chances of clearing the prelims examination will be highest, right. And here the key features of the syllabus and here the key features of the course is that the complete coverage will be provided for the JPSC paper 2 prelims GS paper, and thereafter 5 tests, as we have discussed, time bound completion of the courses. Personal mentoring will be provided. For that matter, you have to contact the respective faculty member or contact the admin section and get the appointment for the faculties, right. Next is online recorded classes will be there, and you will be given unlimited access to the online recorded classes. There will be no restriction on the number of classes through which you can go. You can watch the video at any number of times. There is no issue with that, right. And these videos will be available on the website. The courses will be available on the website till the commencement of the examination. After the commencement of the examination, the videos and the courses will be removed. And for that matter, if you think that you can postpone, कल देख लेंगे, तो कल कभी आता नहीं है. तो ये मिस्टेक बिल्कुल मत कीजिएगा. बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स ये गलती करते हैं, और उसके कारण होता क्या है कि आज की एक वीडियो रह गई, कल की एक वीडियो रह गई, परसों की एक वीडियो रह गई, स्टडी मटेरियल भी पाइल अप होता जा रहा है. And because of that, what happens? At some point of time, they realize that now it has become so huge. The backlog has become so huge that now they can't do anything. So don't commit such kind of mistakes. Such kind of mistakes will become a disaster for your chances to clear the prelims. So no postponing of the work. The study work should be completed in sync with the pace of the class, right. And एक आध क्लासेस मिस होते हैं, समझ में आता है सबको, बट इफ यू सी हियर दैट 6 videos will be there on each day, weekly days. The weekend, the Sunday will be off, and if you go on to miss one or two classes in certain week, then you can complete it in the next week quite easily, right? So cover the syllabus, cover the topics with the pace of the class. If you go on to miss some kind of some classes, then complete it as soon as possible, as well as individual feedback and doubt clearing session. So basically this has been provided because all the students does not have the same attribute. Different students need different kind of attention. Some will be lagging in economics, some will be lagging in geography, some will be lagging in polity. कुछ को झारखंड ट्राइब से ही नहीं समझ में आएंगे, ये भी हो सकता है. सो फॉर दैट मैटर देयर विल बी इंडिविजुअल फीडबैक इन विच टॉपिक दे आर लैगिंग, व्हाट material they should focus on, how to complete that, what kind of conceptual base they need. All those things will be provided individually with individual doubt clearing session. अब जिन लोगों ने ज्योग्राफी से पहले ग्रेजुएशन वगैरह कर रखा होगा, दे विल बी गुड इन ज्योग्राफी. Those students who have done the graduation with political science, they will be good in polity and governance. So अलग अलग स्टूडेंट्स अलग अलग बैकग्राउंड से होंगे और अलग अलग उनका नॉलेज बेस होगा, एंड अकॉर्डिंगली दे विल बी प्रोवाइडेड द मेंटरिंग एज वेल एज द फीडबैक फॉर अ पर्टिकुलर subject, so that we should ensure that they will be in position to attempt as much question as they can. ऐसे करना तो 100 है, बट एज मच क्वेश्चंस एज दे कैन का मतलब ये है कि जो कि आप फुल कॉन्फिडेंस के साथ अटेम्प्ट करेंगे. दैट विल बी आवर अप्रोच. So attempt as much questions as you can with full confidence, so that there will be the highest possibility of clearing the prelims. And once the prelims is clear, so those students who would be willing to prepare for the mains examination, they can get back to us. Or otherwise, if you want to take the complete package of the foundation course, then you can go on to register for that course also. That is also available on our website. But many of the students are of the view that बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स ऐसे होते हैं जो कि बीपीएससी, जेपीएससी, यूपीएससी सब की जो है प्रिपरेशन करते रहते हैं. तो जो स्टूडेंट्स बीपीएससी की, यूपीएससी की plus JPSC, they are preparing for all the subjects. So mostly such kind of students do what? They start with the preparation of UPSC. So they don't need to focus on paper 1. GS paper 1 is quite easy for them if we consider the JPSC examination. So this course has been designed specifically for those students who are preparing for UPSC, but they also want to appear in the JPSC exams. And for that matter, this course will be very beneficial for them, because here only Jharkhand specific topics will be dealt with. And the GS paper 1 is very good already for them. So there will be no issues for them to score good marks in that. Only thing is that they might be lagging in the Jharkhand specific topics, and for that matter, this specific course, because many of the students were asking that we need only the Jharkhand specific content and classes, so we are providing it only. So here we would finish off, and for the students I would recommend go on to start reading the NCERT if you want to clear the exam quite easily. Basic books are very important to get the conceptual clarity. And basically what happens here, if you consider the Jharkhand specific things, then for the Jharkhand specific JPSC paper 2 also, the books related to sociology, economics and polity, etc. and governance books are very important to understand the concepts. And rest of the material will be provided by the coaching itself. So no issues. So here I finish off. Thank you very much and have a nice day.